My other thing I'd like to have an on-air production meeting about, when we saw those pitches thrown with the four-man outfield, I'd actually like to know the actual context of when it actually involved four outfielders. How many of those 270 pitches thrown by the Blue Jays resulted in a fly ball, maybe to the outfield position?
Where it worked, you're saying, where it worked as intended.
Or where the ball was even hit.
Yeah, because if 270 were thrown and 250 of them were thrown and nothing ever happened, I'm not so sure where that plays into the mix right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. The other problematic part, I mean, you really have to be set up well to do this. See, I believe this has been going on for a while in the game. We just didn't call it that. The shifting, the teams that have an elite defensive third baseman with an above-average arm, i.e. the Padres, have been doing some sort of this process all along, but not really calling it that. Look at where Manny Machado plays when they shift. Probably you wouldn't consider that to be right field, but you would consider this catch to be right field. And so I realize my point of this whole thing is you have to be really set up to be able to do this. You have to have an infielder that's comfortable playing the outfield, that you're not putting them in risk of getting hurt by moving to the outfield. Now, the Blue Jays have that because they have Biggio, who has played some of the outfield, Espinal, who can play anywhere on the field, but not every team, BK, is really set up to be able to deploy this.
So I'm going to go two parts here. One, 16 of the pitches out of the 270 resulted in outs. So that's the great and powerful Orso coming through with those research numbers right there. Outs in the outfield. So it made a difference. My next part of that conversation would be, were all of those outs fly balls to straightaway somewhere anyway? You know what I mean?
How often did a hit become an out because of the fourth outfield?
So the result is going to be, or the case study is going to be on watching these two games against the Blue Jays and Yankees, when Rizzo comes home plate, when Gallo comes home plate.
Would they have been outs anyway?
Right. Gallo right now, the way he's swinging the bat, has shown me no interest of any sort of adjustment whatsoever.
Right, you could take everybody off the field except for the pitcher.
Or you could put 7 guys in the outfield, and his swing is going to be his swing. Where I guarantee if you put 6 guys in the outfield, Rizzo will do this.
Right.
Because
so
Rizzo did this in yesteryear when he was a Cubby, when the shift started happening. His first 2 at-bats in a game when they were overshifting him, he bunted for a knock, he bunted for a knock. Third time up, they played him straight
Okay,
up.
let me play a counter-argument as a proponent of it. How much do you think it might mess with the hitter mentally? To say, oh my gosh, I don't see where I can get a hit by hitting a ball to the outfield right now because they've covered almost every spot that I could get a hit in. Do you think there's any mental component of that may affect the hitter's approach?
I think that's fair, but I also think at that point in time, what's going to happen then is you're only going to pick out 1 or 2 guys league-wide, not just American League or game-wide, that is going to actually climb into their scullies that bad. Because I think if you get to a certain point and you do not do this and equalize the madness, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it seems to be bothering them. And if you have 2 guys who are that extreme, or in Rizzo's case, hits to the gap so well. It's not a deficiency. He's hitting very well. But they're like, no, you're hitting so well, we're going to blanket the outfield. But Joel Sherman, our colleague in the New York Post column, said he wants the shift banned. Like, would you be, if you like to ban the shift, right?
I do.
You want to ban, would you ban outfield shifts too?
I do, because the point you just said. So my whole point of the shifts, BK, and the banning, I just want to be clear on this, is that I just want to reward a quality at bat. So if Rizzo's driving a ball into a gap and somebody's catching the ball, he's getting robbed of a quality approach. If a guy hits a bullet up the middle and the shortstop or second baseman is playing there, that's a quality at bat. The hitter should be rewarded for that.
Can I just say one thing to the judge then? What I'm saying is I want to see teams rewarded for playing smart baseball. That's what I like. You're right, but I think this could also be right.
I don't want the infield shift banned. I don't want 4 outfielders banned.
Right.
If you can't play against that.
But the game has showed you they can't.
No, but maybe. But now look at the Cleveland Guardians. I have to get the name right.
The
Guardians are starting.
Look at the New York Mets.
And they're starting to say, hey, let's get a little more contact. Let's trade for Miles Straw. Let's bring up Stephen Kwan. Let's draft Stephen Kwan. There's probably other Stephen Kwans out there where if the ball's flying over the yard, it's going to be, well, his power doesn't translate. But if we're not playing home run ball and we're playing low-to-the-ground baseball, suddenly we'll see a lot of Stephen Kwans.
The bottom line is, though, shifts wouldn't be in play if they didn't work.
Right. But I'm saying, how about encouraging players, that next generation of players, to hit the ball to all fields?
Which the good ones do now.
Seiya Suzuki came from Japan and does that now.
Yeah.
So he's played 9 years.
Freddie Freeman's going to hit 340. Yeah, Freddie Freeman's career average when they overshift against him is higher than his career average altogether. Which means I don't understand why they overshift sometimes on Freddie Freeman, because the numbers say when you overshift him, he's actually better.
Right.
Listen, I didn't start out being a proponent of ban the shifts, but the more games you watch, the more you begin to realize.
Yeah, but we just watched the game one between Detroit and Oakland. That's a ground ball to the second baseman. Should be a 4-6-3 double play. Yeah. First and third, one out. Innings over, and yet Oakland's in a three-man overshift on that side. Can't turn a double play.
Right. It giveth and it taketh away.
Thank you.
Take your chances. Put you guys out there. Play real baseball.
No banning.